Here is the pineapple tomato we sliced up, our first one off the vine. And it was so big I had to use the bread knife because our normal knives, it was too big, too wide for it. So Joe's having a piece with his breakfast sandwich this morning, the sausage and onion and mustard sandwich.
Yep, and it's good too.
The pineapple tomato's good?
Mm-hmm.
It don't get any better than that, does it?
No, it does.
And I've made a grilled cheese and put lettuce, tomato, and bacon. You can't even see the bacon on the bottom for this piece of tomato. But the tomato is bigger than the slice of bread. It's going to be good, y'all. Well, it's been raining cats and dogs out here this morning, all through the night, and all morning it just let up, and the horses have been hanging out in the barn. It's been raining so hard, so they just went out, and even Dollywood flooded today, and they shut Dollywood down. But thank you, Lord, for the rain. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We need it so bad. On this rainy day, I'm frying up fresh country sausage and canning it. I opened the last jar. Joe loves this stuff. So I've already got 3 jars packed and poured the hot grease on top of it and tighten it really, really tight and turn it upside down and they will seal. So I've got 3 done already and I probably have 2 or 3 more to go. Now, one tip is you really have to get the lids on tight as you can get it, so the grease doesn't seep up and leak back out. If you do that, you have to start all over. But be very careful because it's hot. And I've got the jars staying hot in the oven on 225. When the sausage is ready, then I'll set the jar here and pack 6 patties in a pint-wide mouth jar. And then whatever grease is in the skillet, I'll pour it over into that jar. Then I take a paper towel dipped in vinegar to wipe the rim of the jar off to make sure there's no grease on the rim, the edge of the glass jar, and dry it off. And then I have my lids in here staying warm. I'll dry them off and put them on there and then tighten it down with this band. So far, mine are not leaking. Now you don't want to pour the hot grease in cold jars, so make sure your jars are hot. Now I just wiped the rim with my paper towel dipped in vinegar and dried it off to make sure there's no grease. I've got my hot lid here. I set on top, put the band on it, and tighten it down really tight. Now once I can see that these are not leaking, I will put them on a rimmed cookie sheet. You could go ahead and do that now. It's just I'm using my cookie sheet right now. I had the bags of sausage there, but I'm going to place these upside down on this cookie sheet. I'm going to turn the oven off. Remember, I have it set at 225, keeping my jars warm in there. So I'll just turn it off and set the canned sausage in there on the cookie sheet until they seal good. And that way, if they do leak, they'll be inside the cookie sheet. Okay, about 6 hours later, I came down to get the jars out of the oven. All the lids have sealed. I picked up and felt the bottom of the lid, and they all have sealed, but they are still just a little runny. The grease has not solidified in there, so I'm waiting for the grease to solidify. Probably let them sit overnight like this, and once the grease has solidified, then I will store them, turn them back up right side. But I got 5 jars today. That ought to last a little while. You can see how the sausage grease has solidified now in the jars, so I will just turn those up right now and store them in the pantry. This makes it really nice when you don't want to pat out fresh sausage and fry it, wait on it to fry. You just open the jar, take out what you want, heat it up, and you're ready to go to make your sausage biscuits, sausage gravy, or whatever you want. Hi y'all, I'm in the kitchen this morning. Joe and I are waiting for the grass to dry up so we can mow this afternoon. We've had a lot of rain this week, and we're going to have 70% chance today, but supposedly it's not going to rain till later this evening, around 4 o'clock. So if we can get the grass dried and give us a couple of hour window so we can get the grass mowed, that would be great. So in the meantime, I'm going to put together some vanilla chia seed pudding. And I love this. If you're not familiar with chia seeds, they're a good source of iron and, I have to cheat, calcium. Calcium and iron, and there's 5 grams of protein in each serving, which is about 2.5 tablespoons. So to make this chia seed pudding, it's really easy. You start off with 6 tablespoons of the chia seeds. And I bought this at Walmart, and it's organic chia seeds. And I'm going to put it in this glass jar with the lid. So I'll get you down here so you can see what I'm doing. So here goes 6 tablespoons of chia seeds. There. Now the chia seeds will swell up like rice does, and it's good and filling. And to that you want to add 1.5 cups of milk, whole milk or almond milk, whatever kind of milk you like. I don't have almond milk, but it is really good in this recipe, so I'm just using whole milk. And you want 2 tablespoons of pure maple syrup. I've got the organic kind. There's 1, 2. And you want 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Now you want to stir this up really good. I'm going to get a long-handled spoon to do that with. You give it a really good stir to mix everything up. And you're going to put a lid on this and put it in the refrigerator for overnight. And you may just give it a stir before you go to bed because it will thicken up pretty much, so just keep it stirred up. Of course, I'm making mine in the morning hours, so I'll probably give it another stir later this afternoon. So I'll put this lid on it. And in the refrigerator it goes. I'm making a different breakfast this morning, and I've already got started on it, but I'll tell you what I'm doing. This is a good low-carb keto recipe that I've come up with. I crumbled up sausage, and from the grease of the sausage, I shredded some cabbage and let it cook down. And once it's pretty soft, I what I did, once the sausage was done, I just scooted it to the edge of the skillet and put the cabbage in and just cooked it right here. And then once it's soft, I blended all the sausage back in with the cabbage. And now I'm getting ready to add 2 eggs, slightly beaten, in some heavy cream. Put garlic in here. I didn't have any fresh garlic, but I had this jar of minced garlic. But neither Joe or I can get that jar open. So I had some garlic paste, and I put in there with the grease and just blended it in with the grease before I put the cabbage in. Now I just poured in the 2 eggs. I'm just going to kind of spread that. I should have poured it more evenly instead of just dumped it in there, but spread it out a little bit. Put just a little pepper and some salt. Let these eggs sit up a little bit. Now when the eggs aren't runny anymore, I'm going to add some cheese to the top. You don't have to add cheese, but we like cheese. I've got some sharp cheddar, a little bit left, and some Italian cheese, Italian blend, and I'm going to put that on top. Breakfast is ready. I'll serve this up in our plates. So here it is, and I think it's really good. And Joe says it's...
Out of sight.
He first said interesting. But it is really good. It's about 12:30 now, and so much for trying to mow today. A thunderstorm has rolled in with some rain, and I guess it's set in for the afternoon, so maybe tomorrow will be mowing day. Okay, it's the next morning on the chia seed pudding, and the chia seeds have all swelled, and it's made this pudding-like texture. So I'm just going to give this a good stir so there's not any big thick clumps in there. Okay, and this is how I like to eat it. I pour some in a bowl. I like to use the Carb Master yogurt that I get from Kroger's. It's the Kroger brand. This one is banana cream pie. So I'm going to take some of that to put on top. Take my spoon out. And then I like to add some fresh fruit, and I have fresh blueberries from my neighbor. And I like a crunch, so I use chopped pecans. And that is a delicious breakfast or brunch or any time you want to snack. We've been up here in the upper field. A big limb came out of the big cherry tree there. So we just got that cleaned up. Now we're going to go around the fence line to see if there's anything else we need to throw in the truck. The guy that mows our hay never did come and mow this spring, so at this late of a date, I imagine he's going to just cut it one time this year. I'm thankful we had some rain the last couple of weeks. Look at this mullein plant on the neighbor's lawn here. The leaves are drying up on it. Still got a few little yellow blooms up here at the top. Keep walking. We need to come up here and clean the corner of this out. Hello. You stop when you see some more limbs we need to pick up. And look at this big mullein plant. I think that thing's probably 8 feet tall. I haven't harvested any of these mulleins because the neighbor sprays weed killer along the fence line, so I don't think it's safe to harvest and consume. Another corner we've got to get cleaned out, and the rest of this fence line going up through here with all these wild blackberries and stuff. More limbs to pick up, so I gotta get busy. That's your toast ready, honey.
Well, thank you.
It's Saturday morning and Joe's wanting his standard sausage sandwich. Let me get his toast. I put a piece of toast and butter it in the toaster oven. He just wants half of one. So, here we go. Get the plate over here where you can see what I'm doing. So I cut it in half. He likes lots of mustard on it. So I put lots of mustard on both sides. I cut the sausage patty in half. This is from my canned sausage. And then put onion on top. And put the other mustard on top. And that is his sandwich. There you go, babe. Today, I'm going to make something, a treat for us. I had some whipping cream that was about to expire in a few days. So I decided to make us some homemade ice cream, honey. Is that okay?
What now?
I said I had some whipping cream that was about to expire in a few days. So instead of letting it expire, I decided to mix up a batch of vanilla homemade ice cream. Is that okay?
I guess so.
Well, with ice cream, we've got to have cake or something, don't we? To put the ice cream on.
No, you just eat ice cream.
Joe would just eat ice cream. I would too. But it's just an opportunity for me to use up some things that I need to use. I made something the other day that only called for 4 ounces of cream cheese. So I had the other 4 ounce in there, and I needed to go ahead and use that. So I'm going to make a half recipe of this blueberry cream cheese bundt cake. And I've got just a small bundt pan I'm going to bake it in. And the recipe calls for an 8-ounce package of cream cheese. And of course, I had the 4 ounce. A half a cup of oil, so I've used 1/4 cup of oil. And you mix the cream cheese and oil together until it's nice and creamy and smooth, like I did right here. And then you add in the cake mix. And it calls for a package of white cake mix. I only had yellow, so that's what I used. And there's 3 cups of cake mix in here. So I used 1.5 cups of the cake mix, and I put the rest in this jar with a tight lid, and I'll use it later. And it calls for a box of vanilla pudding, and the instant vanilla pudding. And I measured it, there's about a half a cup of that, so I used 1/4 of a cup of vanilla pudding, and I put the rest of that in a Ziploc bag and stuck it back down in the pudding box so I know what it is, and put it in the cabinet to use later. So we're going to add the cake mix and pudding to this creamy mixture. And it calls for 4 eggs, so I'll put in 2. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla, so I'll just do 1 teaspoon. You know, we might go to eat. We've been wanting fish, and since we're going to be close to Bristol, we can go check out that green seafood place we've been meaning to try out for our late lunch. There's the 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And we're going to mix this up with the hand mixer, so I won't put you through the noise of that. Let me mix this up and I'll be back. Okay, I've got this mixed up good, nice and creamy. And now the last step is to fold in the blueberries. It calls for 2.5 cups of fresh or frozen blueberries, so I'm using the frozen. It doesn't take them long to thaw at all, but I just did a heaping 1 cup of blueberries, and I see a stem on one. Get that out. Make sure there's no other stems. I don't see any. So I'm just going to fold these in the batter. And I have sprayed my bundt pan with cooking spray. I've got the oven set at 325, preheating. And I'm going to pour this into the pan. And we're going to bake it. It says for 60 to 65 minutes. And then you cool it on a wire rack for 20 minutes. So we'll see how long this takes to bake, since I'm just doing a half one. Probably still the whole time, but we'll check it because we certainly don't want to burn it. All that. There's a gnat flying around me from all these tomatoes. Our tomatoes are coming in like crazy. And I canned 7 quarts yesterday, and then went back to the garden and picked another huge basket. So I've got another 7 quarts there probably to can, unless I give them to somebody. Not going to be canning today, that's for sure. Okay, I got this filled in the pan. I think it's pretty even around. And we'll put it in the oven, and when it comes back out, I'll show it to you. We got up singing this morning, didn't we, honey?
Yeah.
And a song came to my mind. Joe was telling me how sweet I was and how precious I was this morning when he got up. And a song came to my mind that Mom used to sing to me when I was little a lot. It was sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time. Be my little sugar and love me all the time. Honey in the morning, honey in the evening, honey at supper time. Be my little honey and love me all the time. Have y'all heard that song? Joe's over here like he's playing the piano. My breakfast is going to be the last of my chia seed pudding that I made. I'm just stirring it up here and going to pour it all out. And this is a different way that I like. You can add different toppings, so I'm going to do a little different. Instead of nuts, I'm going to use honey bunches of oat cereal on top. Get all that out. Probably a plastic spatula would do a better job getting that out of this jar. Alright, let me show you how I'm going to dress it up here. Okay, got my chia seed pudding in the bowl. And this time I've got blackberry Carb Master yogurt from Kroger. So, ooh, that didn't get on my shirt. Had a little runny on top there. Let me wipe that off. Okay. Then I'm going to garnish with some blueberries. Since I have blueberries. Do you hear the plate making a noise? That's Joe's hand from his Parkinson's trimmer. He's needing food to calm that down. Okay, and then I'm going to put this honey bunches of oat cereal on top for my crunch factor. And there we have it. Okay, another song that I've been singing, I'm trying to learn because I love that song and I hadn't heard it in forever, is I just want to thank you, Lord. So it goes, let me get the tune in mind. I just want to thank you, Lord, for every time that you've heard me pray. I just want to thank you, Lord, for always being there. When I was so down and out, you came along and made me want to shout. I just want to thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Have you heard that song? I love it. So We're going to close the video out today for this week. We've really not done a whole lot but work, haven't we, honey?
Mm-hmm.
The rain stopped and everything was just in bad shape outside. So we got everything mowed, we got everything weed-eated, we picked up limbs and brush and got that taken off. So it's been a week-long process. But we've got that done, and today I think I'm going to get Joe to go out with me in the convertible, and we'll make a trip to my brother Ted's house. I've made some sourdough bread and given him a loaf of it, and his daughter's wanting some of the starters, so I'll take that. And then from there we'll drive on over into Bluntville to the big red apple shed and see what they've got that I could use. I'm looking for some peaches, and I hope I haven't waited too late to get some good peaches to can. So we'll see you guys later, and we may put some of that on this video, or it may go into next week's. So y'all have a blessed one, and we see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Cream is ready, honey. You can have a piece of blueberry pound cake.
Right, this right here.
Yep. Put it in your bowl and some ice cream on top.
I got it right here.
Okay.
I'm getting a lot of ice cream here.
Mm-hmm. Tell us what you think.
It's good. It's great.
All right. Enjoy your treat for the afternoon.
Well, you're more than welcome. Can't beat it. Mm-hmm. Yum, 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 yum.